The best thing about a show like this is that you know nothing when you're walking into it. Like, I feel strongly that if I had known anything about the first episode that I watched, which was the first episode of the first season, I probably wouldn't have watched it. Because everybody would have said, the Prime Minister does something with a barnyard animal. And you'd be like, oh God, that's so over the top, whatever. Yeah, okay, it's satire, but like, that's just crazy, I don't care. But then you watch it and you're so shocked by the ending that you can't like, and it's so well done that it becomes your favorite show. So I don't want to give too much away, but I will say that it's you know, it's a story of two guys in a tin can who are not connecting, and by the end of it, are forced to. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away though. So like the connection even between Lana and everybody, you know, it's like there's too much. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess I actually wasn't surprised at how dark and twisted certain elements are. I was actually, I think, more surprised at how intimate and calm and steady a lot of the script was, especially in my character Lana's world, you know. So yeah, I was sort of pleasantly surprised at the experience of like, you know, let's just focus on, for Lana anyway, her relationship with her family and her desire to connect more with her husband. Awesome. Aaron and I have never worked together before, but we've known each other for quite some time. So it was nice to be able to do that and sort of get to know Josh through Aaron.
Yeah. Aaron was a great conduit, and Kate and I didn't spend that much time together on set, so I'm glad to know that you got to know me through him. But no, he's such a sweetheart, and he's such a positive person, and he brings such a great atmosphere to the set. We had such a genuinely comforting crew of people working on this that it didn't feel like we were making anything that was quite this dark. And yeah, we all got along really well, and Kate and I were able to kind of work together in the rehearsal process, and I don't know, it's a really nice time.
No. I played an astronaut once that was as close to space as I can handle. I mean, I genuinely, in the film The Martian that I was in, I got claustrophobic just like in the fake space suit and everything. So I don't think I'd be a very good candidate.
Yeah, I've always been obsessed with space. Like, I mean, I'm part of a generation of, you know, I'm older than Kate, I'm older than you. Like, I was part of that generation of kids that was just like, I'm going to the moon, you know, in a heartbeat. I'd be up there. I want to get on one of those, you know, Jeff Bezos's, whatever it's called.
It's the best. I was very pregnant while we were filming this episode, so it's cool to watch because you know, in every scene, I think to myself, oh, there's at least two of us in this scene.
I think that the only properly careful thing that we can say is that the audience can expect a very, like a lot less spooky of an experience than they're used to with Black Mirror. Our episode is dark comedy at its most ridiculous, and which is good for both of us because we're big scaredy cats when it comes to anything.
Yes, and also
scary.
It's good for us because we love comedy, but it's still mind-bending over and over and over, and it is still creepy.
It's still very creepy.
It's still like it's weird as hell.
But there's like a nice lightheartedness that we don't often see.
Extreme weird and extreme funny.
I was just screaming yes from the highest mountaintop I could find before I knew anything about my character or the plot or anything. I've been such a huge fan of Black Mirror for such a long time. And then on top of everything, I found out that Salma Hayek was gonna be acting with me. So yes, it was just 1,000 times yes from the get-go for me.
You know, it's such a good script, and this was a good sign for me when you stop thinking because you're so captured by the writing that, you know, usually when they offer you something, you overthink it. And I was like, what? And I became an audience like this. And I was so excited to be a part of it.
I'm still trying to process everything that's happened. I couldn't feel luckier to have Salma as a scene partner, and she's so funny and so fun to work with and so willing to make fun of herself. And I'm in heaven.
Not me. I was terrified when I heard that Salma Hayek was going to be playing Mike likeness, which you think I'm making a joke, but no, this is how weird this episode is. I'm actually being literal, and you'll see what I mean when you watch it.
I frequent the page of this one from time to time. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
You know what? Thank you. You're the first one today and yesterday who don't ask me about my white hair photo with all the wrinkles and no makeup. Good. Let's talk about Channing.
Let's talk about Channing.
Yeah.
We should have been talking about Channing this whole time.
He should have been part of the episode.
We're bros for life, all of us. And
I hate him because when we were shooting in London, I wanted her to come and hang with me, and he was monopolizing my Annie.
So
Every
Salma
time
Hayek
we were
just
not
said
on the set, he would suck her away.
This is Dan Levy. Dan Levy was also in London.
Yes, he was in London.
And there was one dinner that I wasn't able to go out with.
No, there were a couple of times like, oh, I gotta go see Dan. Okay, whatever.
You heard it
he's
here
amazing.
first,
He's
folks.
amazing. He's amazing. But he did monopolize my Annie.
Sure, it's 2006, the height of the Britney, Paris Hilton, Amy Winehouse, young starlet getting papped era. And Maisie Day, played by Clara Rogard, yes, is one of those starlets, and she gets perhaps pushed to her breaking point.
It's one of my all-time favorite shows, and yeah, it was like a no-brainer when I got the offer through, and my agent was like, I'll send you the scripts, you can have a read, and I was like, okay, yeah, okay, I'll read it, and then I'll decide, even though it was, a given.
I think right off the bat, we're kind of told how dark the piece could get from literally like day dot, as Clara says. From the very top of the episode, you really get to see like what is at stake, which is not only our privacy, but like lives. And so the twist got me because it's a brilliant twist that I could have never seen coming ever. So reading it, I was just like, holy. But the actual darkness of where it took us, I think in the very beginning, I was like, this is gnarly.
I've been papped a couple of times, but nothing like intense. Certainly it can be more intense during like planned events, but like that is very different to me. But I mean, yeah, it's happened to me like at Sundance, people like bowling you over and coming all on top of you and you can't move, and it can be a lot. And, but those are kind of times where I'm perhaps anticipating some of that, which I think is very different if you're just like trying to leave your house to go get broccoli from the store or whatever, and people are like on you. I think, yeah, it's a lot. And certainly when you enter this industry, you kind of, I don't think you sign a contract to have your privacy invaded, but people are obviously going to be interested in you, and you have to be aware that that will be a part of your life. But I do think that there is too much of that too.
We shot in Spain, and so yeah, we were just in Marbella near the ocean, and like I don't know, our days consisted of like jumping in I jumped in the ocean almost every single day.
I feel like we actually also hung out. Like I feel like a lot of times when I'm working, I'll hang out, but I am so tired that I also I hole in too and like kind of become a monk. But I feel like maybe because we were in Spain and I don't know, I felt like we were like hanging out.